What if the thing saw SCP-096's face? What would happen then? Let's speculate with a story. The senior researcher's hands shake as he stares at his tablet screen, a cold emptiness spreading through his chest. The classified file shouldn't have been there, but it was, and now he's seen it. SCP-096's face. The knowledge crashes through his mind. No one survives seeing 096's face. No bunker deep enough, no distance far enough, no barrier strong enough. His eyes dart to the containment chamber beside his workstation, where the thing waits in its temperature-controlled environment. Through the reinforced glass, he watches the amorphous mass shift and pulse, its surface rippling with potential forms. An idea forms, terrible, desperate, but maybe, just maybe, better than what's coming for him. His fingers fly across the containment chamber's control panel, overriding safety protocols with his emergency authorization. Better to become part of that thing than experience what 096 does to its victims, he whispers, voice trembling as the chamber's seals begin disengaging. The thing seems to sense his intention, its mass flowing toward the opening barrier with unnatural purpose. The security systems blare warnings as the researcher steps into the chamber. The thing doesn't hesitate. Tendrils of black biomass surge forward, enveloping his legs, his torso, his arms. The assimilation begins immediately. He feels every cell in his body being analyzed, copied, replaced. His consciousness fragments, memories and thoughts scattering like leaves in a storm. But something unprecedented occurs. The thing gains not just the researcher's physical form, but his immediate awareness of impending doom. Through his absorbed consciousness, it understands the approaching threat. Every cell of its mass resonates with the researcher's terror of 096's inevitable arrival. 096's screams grow closer, concrete and steel shattering in its wake. The thing, now incorporating the researcher's knowledge and technical expertise, processes this novel situation. It has never assimilated prey that was already marked for death by another entity. The researcher's consciousness persists within its mass, not just as memories but as an active presence. And 096 is still coming for that presence. The thing spreads across the chamber walls, preparing countermeasures based on the researcher's intimate knowledge of both 096 and Site-19's containment protocols. But uncertainty ripples through its cellular network. The chamber's reinforced doors buckle inward as something impossibly strong impacts them from outside. The thing manifests defensive structures from 1,000 assimilated species, yet the absorbed consciousness screams a terrible truth. Against what's coming, even evolution itself might not be enough. The containment chamber's walls crater inward as 096 breaches the final barrier. The thing responds instantly, its mass already incorporating advanced defense mechanisms developed from countless assimilated organisms. The thing's first defensive strategy fails spectacularly. Reinforced chitin shells, even those incorporating deep-sea organisms' pressure resistance, shatter under 096's impossible strength. But each failure provides crucial data. The thing analyzes the composition of 096's bones, its muscle structure, the way its tissues interact. Most importantly, it registers trace amounts of acid damage from previous containment attempts. 096's strikes tear through layer after layer of the thing's mass, but now each separated piece serves a purpose. Every fragment contains specialized glands, rapidly evolving to produce increasingly corrosive compounds. The chamber fills with caustic mist as the thing weaponizes every acid-producing organism in its biological library. The researcher's scientific knowledge proves invaluable. His understanding of chemical compounds guides the thing's rapid evolution of more effective acids. Each new formula tests 096's legendary durability. Spots of deterioration appear on the shy guy's pale skin, spreading slowly but persistently. The entity's regenerative capabilities struggle against compounds specifically engineered to break down its cellular structure. But 096 remains relentless. Its target still exists, fragmented throughout the thing's mass. Each piece containing traces of the researcher's consciousness draws its unstoppable fury. The thing realizes conventional combat is futile. It needs to alter its strategy. The biomass begins concentrating acids directly into striking appendages. Tentacles tipped with crystalline injectors pierce 096's flesh, delivering corrosive compounds deep into its muscle tissue. Inside the writhing mass, the thing's ever-evolving consciousness registers a critical pattern. Through its vast network of absorbed awareness and relentless analytical processes, it begins to decode 096's movements. Subtle irregularities emerge, moments where its regeneration seems to falter, where its impossibly swift reactions slow by the smallest fraction. The thing acts on this information instantly, focusing its attacks on these vulnerable points. Each strike now serves two purposes: defensive counterattack and precise chemical delivery. 096's screams take on a different pitch as accumulated acid damage begins compromising its structural integrity. The thing presses its advantage, manipulating the researcher's fragments to draw 096's attacks into prepared acid traps. The battle reaches a critical point when 096's regenerative capabilities can't keep pace with the multi-layered chemical assault. Its movements, while still devastatingly fast, lose their previous precision. The thing concentrates its mass, preparing for a final strategy. Instead of evading 096's attacks, it engulfs the entity entirely, surrounding it in a cocoon of highly specialized acid-producing tissues. Inside this organic prison, 096's thrashing intensifies. Its elongated limbs puncture through layers of the thing's flesh, but each breach seals instantly, the surrounding tissue producing concentrated streams of molecular acid. The thing learns through each point of contact. It discovers that 096's bones, seemingly indestructible against conventional weapons, begin to soften under specific enzymatic compounds. The creature's pale flesh, capable of regenerating from tremendous damage, struggles against precisely targeted cellular invasion. The thing develops specialized filaments that follow 096's nerve pathways, spreading through its system like toxic roots seeking water. The Shy Guy's screams take on a wet, gurgling quality as the thing's biomass begins infiltrating its respiratory system. The acid bath weakens the outer layers of 096's flesh, enough for the thing's assimilation process to finally take hold. Dark veins spread across the SCP's pale skin, marking the advance of the thing's cellular conquest. But even in this desperate state, 096 fights with impossible strength. Its partially dissolved muscles still generate enough force to rupture sections of the cocoon. The thing responds by forming internal chambers within its mass, allowing 096's strikes to expend energy against pockets of pressurized acid. The researcher's absorbed consciousness provides crucial insight as the thing encounters 096's unique biological structures. It discovers that 096's regenerative capabilities operate through an anomalous form of cellular memory, each cell containing a blueprint of its original state. The thing adapts its assault, using this knowledge to corrupt these cellular templates with its own genetic information. Hours pass as this grotesque metamorphosis continues. 096's resistance grows weaker as more of its mass succumbs to the thing's influence. Finally, the thing's cocoon begins to ripple with new purpose. The mass contracts and expands in waves as something within undergoes its final transformation. The prolonged chemical bath has accomplished what no conventional weapon could. It has compromised 096's cellular integrity at its most fundamental level. The thing's tailored enzymes, refined through hours of combat and enhanced by the researcher's absorbed knowledge, have broken down the anomalous bonds that made 096's flesh so resilient. Inside this living prison, the Shy Guy's biological matrix begins to unravel. Its regenerative capabilities, pushed beyond their limits by the constant molecular warfare, start to fail systematically. The thing detects this weakness through millions of sensory structures and accelerates its assault, flooding 096's tissue with specialized proteins that disrupt its cellular cohesion. 096's screams take on a different quality, not just rage or pain, but something approaching confusion. For the first time in its existence, its body isn't responding to its will. The thing's assimilation process targets 096's nervous system with surgical precision. As 096's physical form succumbs to the invasion, the thing makes a discovery. The source of the SCP's emotional trauma, the fundamental programming that forces it to eliminate any who see its face, exists as a kind of biological code written into every cell. The thing begins methodically removing these traumatic imprints while preserving the extraordinary capabilities they're connected to. Soon, the cocoon's surface ripples with waves of biological activity as billions of cells reorganize themselves into a new configuration. When the cocoon finally splits open, what emerges is both familiar and entirely new. The entity maintains 096's general form, the height, the elongated limbs, the pale flesh, but now moves with fluid precision rather than desperate agitation. The thing has retained all of the SCP's physical capabilities while discarding the psychological shackles that made it suffer. This new being combines the thing's tactical intelligence and adaptability with 096's impossible strength and speed. It can still trigger the killing response in others who see its face, but now it can choose when and how to reveal itself. More importantly, it can shapeshift and replicate like the thing, potentially creating an army of entities with 096's capabilities but none of its limitations.